Hello, and welcome to AFSP Central Texas's first Marathon in a Month. My name is Dawn Bria, and I'm a Marathon in a Month committee member. First, I want to thank you for joining us today in bringing awareness to mental health and providing hope to those impacted by suicide. Marathon in a Month is more than just working out and fundraising. It's a movement. It's an opportunity for us to bring awareness, to honor loved ones lost by suicide, and those who have or are struggling. Our activity tracker starts today, and no matter the distance goal that you have chosen or the length of time you are planning to complete your distance, we appreciate you. It's not going to be easy, and there are going to be days that we might not want to walk, run, or ride. But fighting through those moments of wanting to give up is something that many experience every single day. With that in mind, we will have to keep going. You are not alone. We are a community inspiring each other to make change. The funds that you have raised for Marathon in a Month make it possible for your local chapter to bring AFSP's programs to communities in your state. Today, each and every one of us will provide hope and healing to those impacted by suicide. We cannot let another day go by without showing that mental health is just as real as physical health. You are showing others that suicide, which is currently the 11th leading cause of death in the U.S., can no longer be ignored. Suicide is a health issue that affects us all. You are a part of a national movement, and today you are showing that we all can raise our voice to prevent suicide. Let us get AFSP's Marathon in a Month trending. Share messages of hope on all social media accounts and use the hashtag #SweatToStopSuicide. On behalf of American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, I want to thank you for your support. We cannot continue to do the work that we do without your commitment to fighting suicide by our side.
Hello, my name is Jane Wisnan. I'm the Area Director for Central Texas, and today I will be moderating our opening ceremony. Thank you, Dawn, for your words of encouragement for our participants today. In this ceremony, you will hear from several volunteers within our Central Texas chapter, highlighting the work that we do right here at AFSP Central Texas. By participating in this event, you are helping to make this work possible. So the next person I'd like to introduce you to is Dr. Amy Grosso, a board member for the Central Texas chapter and a member of the National Leadership Council, highlighting the education that we do here in Central Texas.
Hi, I'm Amy Grosso, and I'm on the board for the Central Texas chapter of American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. And I'm here to be able to talk to you about the many education programs that AFSP has and that we utilize within our chapter. The biggest one is Talk Saves Lives. It's an introduction to suicide prevention, and it's a short 45-minute presentation that can be done virtually or in person, and is a great way for people to be introduced to what suicide prevention really looks like. We also have programs like It's Real Teens in Mental Health, which is really new, and we work with school districts on how students, especially in high school, can get the information about mental health and how to reach out or talk to a friend. These are just two examples of the programming that we do within the chapter, and that the funds that we receive through things like Marathon in a Month go to. So thank you, and know that one of the main ideas of AFSP is in making sure people have the right education on suicide prevention.
AFSP supports survivors of suicide loss and those affected by suicide. So now we have a message from our board chair, Beverly Rayford. She's here to share with us about the work our chapter does for the survivors of suicide loss.
Thank you for being a part of the Marathon in a Month. I'm Beverly Rayford, and I want to share with all of you some of the resources that are available through the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. First, our Healing Conversations program. Healing Conversations is personal support for survivors of suicide loss. This gives those who've lost a loved one to suicide the opportunity to speak with volunteers who are themselves loss survivors. These are one-on-one conversations that allow the survivor to share their experience and their feelings following the loss of their loved one and help them to begin to find healing. Also, AFSP offers a list of support groups where loss survivors can attend regularly, either in person, in their own area, or via Zoom meetings. The group support meetings help the survivor to know that they're not alone. They're able to share their experiences and also hear from others who've been where they are. Finally, each year in November, the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention supports large and small events throughout the country and around the world through the International Survivors of Suicide Loss Day. This day, survivors come together to find a connection and to find understanding and to help them through their healing, through shared experiences, and being able to honor the loved ones they lost to suicide. All of this information can be found at the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention website at www.afsp.org and click on the tab I've Lost Someone. We hope that you'll find these resources helpful to you or to someone you know who has lost a loved one to suicide. I wish you well on your marathon in a month. Thank you.
The American Foundation for Suicide Prevention is the largest private funder of suicide prevention research, and each year the Central Texas chapter hosts a research connection where we invite one of the researchers that we have funded to come and speak to the community about what they've studied. We have a message now from Bradley Belandis, the Central Texas Board Secretary, on how impactful messages from research can be and how one fact can change the way that we respond in the community.
With AFSP, I want to be able to continue to bring research and programming to our communities, specifically on the queer experience. I think a really groundbreaking moment for me this year was actually during our Research Connection event, when our presenter, Dr. Stephen Russell, shared with community members that just by calling a transgender child's name by their chosen name instead of their given name can drastically reduce suicide risk with that child. And you could almost hear a pin drop in that room. Seemingly small facts like that can have a massive impact on our communities and on our youth. And it's when you have light bulb moments like that, it's one fact that can completely change a community or can change someone's mindset on suicide prevention.
In Texas, we have over 2,000 advocates communicating with local representatives on the importance of prioritizing mental health within legislation. Have you signed up to be a field advocate yet? If you haven't, use your voice to advocate for suicide prevention policies at the state, federal, and local levels by visiting afsp.org/advocacy. Nicole Jenkins is here. She's our field ambassador and a Central Texas board member, and she's the message to share about our advocacy efforts.
Advocacy is an easy and important way to get involved with AFSP. In partnership with our Public Policy Office in Washington, D.C., our volunteer field advocates connect with their public officials at all levels to prioritize suicide prevention and mental health. Our Action Center makes it easy to make your voice heard by alerting you when there's an opportunity to support life-saving legislation and even providing you with a simple template to connect with your legislators. In Austin, we also have the opportunity to meet in person or virtually with our legislators for State Advocacy Day. Our team has helped to effect really meaningful change in both local and national legislation, like, for example, designating the upcoming 3-digit emergency number 988 for mental health emergencies. It's easy but incredibly rewarding to get involved and see how much of a difference your voice and your story can make.
The American Foundation for Suicide Prevention leads the fight against suicide. We save lives and we bring hope to those affected by suicide. We have chapters in all 50 states that host programs and events nationwide. AFSP is the largest suicide prevention organization in the United States. AFSP has set a bold goal to reduce the annual suicide rate by 20% by the year 2025. That's tens of thousands of lives saved, and everyday heroes like you can make it happen. Learn more by visiting afsp.org and stay connected. Now that we've shared with you how our involvement is helping to prevent suicide, I'd like to close out this ceremony with a message from Deanna Verduzco with some more about what you can expect over the next month.
By joining in today, you are sending the message that our cause of suicide prevention is just as important as physical health. I'm Deanna Verduzco, a committee member on this year's Marathon in a Month committee. Suicide is a leading cause of death and it can be prevented. Together, we encourage those who struggle to seek help, improve the quality of their lives, and stop this tragic loss of life. Talk saves lives. Whether you are suffering from suicidal thoughts or you're concerned about someone, assume you are the only person who will reach out. Suicide prevention starts with each of us. You are not alone. If you are in crisis, please call the Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 1-800-273-TALK, and that's 8255. Or text TALK to the crisis text line at 741-741 and visit afsp.org for more resources. We encourage you to view the participant resources on the event website. There you will find an activity conversion chart, printable race bib, sponsorship packet, fundraising incentive prizes, and more. The fun and fundraising continues. Join in fundraising on Facebook, Instagram, streaming, or just good old email. Every dollar is vital to our mission. To donate or to find other resources we spoke about, go to supportingafsp.org/event/CTX Marathon in a Month. That's supporting.afsp.org/event/CTX Marathon in a Month. From all of us, we want to say thank you all again for joining in today and supporting the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention and our Marathon in a Month. Our mission to save lives and bring hope to those affected by suicide would not be possible without you. We look forward to seeing your photos and messages of hope. Please remember to tag us and use the hashtag #SweatToStopSuicide. You can also send us any videos of what you're doing for your chance to be seen in the closing ceremonies.
Thank you again for joining us today. I'd like to quickly thank our sponsor, Independence Title Company. And as Deanna mentioned, we look forward to seeing what you are doing this month on social media by using the hashtag #SweatToStopSuicide. We hope to see you in May at our closing ceremony that'll take place on May 14th in Old Settlers Park. You can find details about that event on the website, and we'll also be emailing information out to you if you've registered for the event. Thank you again, and good luck on your Marathon in a Month.